Hey everyone, I'm back. It has been a week, a crazy week, a crazy month. Literally 6 weeks ago, I started a new job and a new internship at the same time, which immediately made my life 10 times busier than it was before. For those of you who do not know, I work at National Museums Liverpool as an events assistant, which means I assist on all sorts and types of events, conferences, Christmas parties. My job entails so many different things: bartending, table service, waitressing, preparing, polishing wine glasses, setting tables, setting up decorations, cleaning, so many things. I literally work at every single museum in Liverpool, all of them. And I've been assigned so many shifts since I've started. Specifically these past 2 weeks, I was just assigned back-to-back shifts. Yesterday I worked for 12 hours, today I'm working 7 hours, and I'm going home tomorrow, which is insane. Speaking of that, I'm going home tomorrow. I am very excited to go home for the holidays. That being said, travel days are always super long and intense for me. I'll be flying back from the UK to the US, 9-hour flight, y'all. So I thought it would be cool to document my day tomorrow and give you guys some insight on what my average travel days are like when I go back home and when I come back here. Depending on my luck, tomorrow could go really smoothly or be really messy. I'm crossing my fingers now. You've heard it here. Nothing will go wrong tomorrow. I say this because I've had so many rough travel mishaps in the past. Buses, trains, flights, even walking directions. Like, I've just had so many ridiculous situations occur. Some of them have been my fault, some of them have not been my fault, and I'm just really hoping that tomorrow goes smoothly. Before I start to document tomorrow, I just want to talk about my previous travel mishaps that have gone extremely wrong. One that sticks out in my memory really well: a year and a half ago, summer 2018, I went to New York for a week to visit my friend, and being myself, I was super cheap. I got the cheapest bus back from New York to North Carolina. The bus was leaving from Chinatown, and I was staying with my friend in the Bronx. Super far away, by the way. They are super far apart. You have to take an hour overground subway to get to Chinatown from the Bronx. And for reasons I won't name, I was already running super behind to get to Chinatown to catch my bus back to North Carolina. And it had been raining, my shoes were soaked, my clothes were soaked, my suitcase was all wet, and in the end I was running to get to the bus stop in Chinatown to not miss my bus. And I remember seeing the Greensboro bus, Greensboro, North Carolina, where I needed to go. I saw it leave the bus stop, and my heart dropped, and immediately, I burst into tears. Literally one of my first times traveling by myself by bus, and I'm in the middle of Chinatown, Manhattan, no idea what to do. And then they were like, there's another bus, but it's going to Durham, North Carolina, which is over an hour away from where I live in North Carolina. Thankfully, they let me use my ticket and hop on that bus. So I hopped on the wrong bus because I missed my bus by 2 minutes. 2 minutes, y'all. And then the bus dropped me off at a gas station in Durham the next morning at 6 a.m. It was a fun time. By the time I got back to Greensboro that evening, I literally slept for 20 hours. And I don't travel by bus that much anymore. Another travel mishap that comes to mind, this is actually my worst travel mishap to date, was also a year and a half ago. It was a week after this New York incident. I was flying back to the UK in September. Come in. A quick interruption. Abby's gonna be sitting back here wrapping my Christmas gifts because I'm too lazy. My worst travel mishap that has occurred was about a year ago. I was flying out of JFK in New York. You remember this because I was messaging everyone. I was fuming. The flight is 9 hours, and I was flying out of New York to get to Manchester, and we were almost halfway through the flight. 4 hours. 4 hours. That's really critical. We weren't 5 hours, not 4.5 hours. 4 hours when over the little intercom on the flight, and get this, it's a huge international flight, so there's over 100 people on the plane, and on the intercom they say something's wrong with the engine, something about safety hazards or whatever. I was in the middle of my second movie at this point. They say, basically, long story short, something is wrong and the flight can't make it to Manchester because the protocol is to go back to the nearest landing point. And since we're not over halfway, we're 4 hours in, almost halfway, we have to go back to New York instead of proceed to Manchester because of some issue with the engine. And everyone on the flight was going crazy. Everyone was so upset. No one could call their families or friends because obviously we're in the middle of the air on the plane. And I remember thinking, this is the most ridiculous situation that's ever happened.
I remember thinking that this is how I'm gonna die.
Abby just reminded me because I texted you guys this. I remember thinking, wow, this is how I'm gonna die. I could not believe it. By the time we got back to New York, it was literally the same amount of flight time that would have taken to get to Manchester. It took hours for them to place everyone on that flight in a hotel. I spent the night in New York, and then the next day I came back to Manchester on the next flight. That was just one of the worst crazy travel experiences I've ever had. I've never had a plane turn around in the middle of a journey, and now because of that situation, I'm paranoid about long flights. I'm always paranoid that my flight is gonna have to stop and turn around in the middle and go back. That is not gonna happen tomorrow. Nothing will go wrong tomorrow. That is it for my travel mishaps. The next time I see you will be early tomorrow morning, and I will document the whole day. Abby's wrapping my Christmas gifts. Oh, that's the cactus candle I got one of my friends. It is 4:17 a.m. and I have finally finished packing, and I've just checked in online, and I have to leave to take a train to Manchester Airport at 7:30 a.m. So I'm gonna get 2 hours of sleep now. It's currently 6:30 in the morning. I've had 2 hours of sleep, 100% exhausted. I put on my Virginia sweatshirt to go home. My train leaves in 1 hour, so I'm gonna eat some cereal and head down. And tomorrow morning, I get to have Fruit Loops instead of Frosted Flakes. Okay, so I'm on the plane. I'm actually in the bathroom because I'm not gonna talk sitting in my seat next to strangers. This is the first international flight that I've been on that does not have TV screens for movies, so I'm a bit upset about that. But they did give us ice cream. I always like to do a bit of stretching whenever I go to the bathroom. I think I've only been in the Philadelphia airport once. Basically, I was supposed to have a 4-hour layover to get a flight to Raleigh, which is an hour and a half away from Greensboro, where I live. But there's a flight that actually goes directly to Greensboro, but it leaves in like just over an hour. So I'm gonna rush over to their gate and see if they have any available seats, and I can switch onto that flight so I can get home sooner and not wait here for 4 hours. Fingers crossed.
Stand to the right or walk to the left.
They were not able to change my ticket even though the flight has empty seats on it. It's just ridiculous, and I hate confrontation and like talking to people, and customer service was being really rude. I feel really flustered. Just really upset that they weren't able to change my flight. Now I have to wait here for 4 hours only to fly into Raleigh. Not happy. Finally arrived in North Carolina. My mom picked me up from the airport. I'm so tired. It's currently 8 p.m. in the US, which means it's 1 a.m. in the UK, and I woke up at 6:30 a.m. in the UK. Mom, stop. And now we're gonna drive back to Greensboro. We're driving through downtown Greensboro, so finally in my hometown, but we're not home yet. Honestly, it feels surreal being here. It is 9:20 p.m., which means it's 2:20 a.m. in the UK. Officially back in Greensboro, but still not back home because obviously the first stop had to be my favorite restaurant, Possibilities. Okay, I'm home. Where is she? There she is! Hi! Do you remember me? I'm home. Finally, it's 10:20 p.m. Going to bed. Right, so I was trying to go to bed because it's 11 p.m., which is literally 4 a.m. in the UK, but
Hey!
my sister finally came home and woke me up.
Yes, I did, and I'm with the sugar. Anyway, bye! See you in my next video.
Good morning. It is the next morning. Yesterday was the longest day ever. Right now it's noon. I think I'm already adjusted to the jet lag at this point. I'm gonna conclude the video here. I am definitely gonna make videos about being back home for the holidays, and I'm gonna eat some Fruit Loops now. Bye.